I'm glad he did what he did. Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your friendly neighborhood, Mr. Reese, also known as Reese Poet. Hope y'all having a wonderful, exciting day. I know that I am. So, let's talk Lil Nas X, right? I'm a little late on everything. I'm kind of just getting back on social media and just seeing all the posts about the video that he did. And apparently, if you haven't heard, I guess Lil Nas X, he did a video that's pretty demonic. You know what I mean? He's engaged and he had given the devil the lap dance. And then Nike turned around and sponsored a shoe, dedicated to Satan. And I don't know how accurate this is, but I heard that these shoes supposed to have like a drop of human blood or something crazy like that. But, and everybody's like, yo, that's crazy. That's like off the chain. Like, what the heck? And I mean, you have a right to be offended and all that stuff, but let me be honest with you. What is my reaction to that? I'm not really surprised. I'm not shocked. I mean, it's the world. I mean, Satan is the God of this world, and you live in a world that is without God, and so without God, there's nothing but darkness. Don't put anything past the word. I mean, this is minuscule in comparison to the atrocities that we've seen in history. I mean, this is nothing compared to what we've seen in the past couple of years. I mean, we've seen demonic influence and outright blasphemy and stuff. This is not new. This is not like a shocking thing. And oh, by the way, your Bible says that this is we live in strange times, and you're going to see this kind of stuff. But I mean, we may or may not read that anymore. It might be a little too offensive, but I mean, this is not like surprising. But what I will tell you is this: what I'm more moved about, what I'm more upset about per se, is the fact that you got a lot of people that are up in arms about Lil Nas X's video and the devil that's in the video, but not the one on their playlist. We got people that are upset about the demonic influences, the demonic depictions on that video, but we're the same ones that glorify, affirm, and uplift everything else. I read a quote the other day that said something like, "The world is offended by everything but sin." I mean, if we want to be honest about it, if you want to be real, I'm actually glad. I'm glad he did what he did. And people are like, what? How could you? Well, I'm glad he did what he did, because maybe, just maybe, it'll be a wake-up call. Maybe it'll wake-up call for the church. Maybe it'll be a wake-up call for the culture to open your eyes and see how far we've let ourselves drift into the abyss of darkness, of brokenness. Maybe it'll wake up that you do realize that what you're seeing with Nas X and any other of these demonic depictions and just the outright, just stuff, you do realize that's a direct reflection, or rather a direct result, of the church allowing itself to be castrated by the culture, right? Oh man, my bad. I didn't mean to. I hurt some feelings. We do realize that it's a direct reflection of we the people. If you don't like the way the nation is, if you don't like the way things are, if you look at stuff and you're so offended and grossed out by some of these things, well, understand that we allowed it to be this way. We turned our eyes away from the truth and accepted the lies of the beast. We propagated it. We affirmed it. We glorified it. For the past, 50 years, we've been letting this deception and this darkness infiltrate our culture. Because we bump it. We bump it on the radio. Like I said, you got it on your playlist. I mean, think about it. We're upset and we're like, I can't believe that he would do or say something like that. But with the same mouth, we were bumping and singing all the words to WAP the other day. I mean, we saw a couple people post, but I mean, are we just as outraged? Are we just as upset about the endless amounts of darkness, violence, and demonic stuff that we have on our favorite movies, our favorite TV shows, our favorite songs? I mean, and mind you, look, I don't want you to think that this is some kind of like, legalistic type thing. It's not. Because I mean, I'm not saying you got to walk around there listening to worship music and with your head in the Bible constantly nonstop like a God bot. Oh, Jesus, like I say before. But I mean, let's just have the same energy. The way we clean up this culture is we got to clean up ourselves. I don't blame Nas X. The truth is that Nas X is a product of what we encouraged and allowed him to be. Nas X is a product of what we already know the influence of the enemy is in the world. It's just not new. Like the real issue is that Lil Nas X is a culmination. He is a direct result of years of ignoring the little foxes, of ignoring the little sins, the little demonic stuff. That ain't that bad. It's not like outright blasphemous. What? We've ignored those little things, and those little things have built up and gave way and paved a path for things like the Nas X video. And it's not, and guess what? Lil Nas X is not the first one to depict some demonic stuff in their video, and he won't be the last. You know, I could have a whole lot of artists and fan clubs coming after me if I really got deep into some of the artists that you know and you love that are engaged and involved in demonic stuff, that have depicted demonic things, that you have represented and supported and affirmed. I mean, so, and don't get me wrong, yes, the video was gross. I'm not by any means condoning or giving him a pass. No, it was gross. But I mean, it's a whole lot of gross things that we digest every day, that we, matter of fact, it's a lot of gross things that we engage in. I tell you what else is gross. When you say you're a Christian and you love Christ and you're supposed to be a representation of the church and warrior of God and all that kind of stuff, but you cussing people out at the drop of a hat. You're offended by the devil in this video, but not the one in your bed. Just being honest. I mean, we have to be real and consistent, because the world is watching us. The world is watching how we respond to these things. The world is watching, what is the church going to do? What is the body of Christ going to do? What are people going to do? Are we going to just keep letting this stuff just get... Because guess what? We live in strange times. This ain't the first thing you're going to see. Matter of fact, you're going to see some crazier stuff. I'm not shocked by the world being the world. It's the world. Like, why are we shocked by that? I mean, this has been happening since the beginning of time. Go back to the pagan days before any of the technology. Now technology and digital media puts it on our faces, and it's constantly in the culture, and it's everywhere you turn. But back in the day, they were doing some crazy stuff too. They were doing some weird stuff too. Look up some of the pagan practices and stuff. Look up some of the cultist practices from back in the day. Some of the things they did in the old world type of media and the old world things. I mean, like this is not like new stuff. Like my grandfather used to say, ain't nothing new under the sun but you. But if anything, I hope that this can be a wake-up call to us as humanity. That, wow, we have really let this thing ride off the rails. We knew it was shaking, but we ignored it. We saw it kind of bump a little bit, but we ignored it. We see the demonic influences and the outright demonic things going on in our culture and society right now. But the only time we say anything is if it's convenient, comfortable, or culturally relevant. That's the other thing. Shoot, I think in many churches, in many world, cultural relevancy has become our Christ. And we're more focused on, we're more focused on social justice than Jesus. And mind you, don't get me wrong, social justice is good, it's important, but it means nothing if you have no salvation. It means nothing if you don't teach truth. The truth of the root cause of all of this, which is sin. And mind you, once again, I'm not perfect by any means. You know, I've got my challenges and my issues, and we all do. But what we need to do is that we need to make a conscious, and I think it's this whole outrage about Lil Nas X is kind of similar to like virtue signaling. We give these superficial responses to these deep-rooted issues. We ignore the actual problem, but we get this pseudo-moralistic like high, or this pseudo-moralistic boost that we called out this blasphemy. But once again, you know, what are you really standing for? What are you really doing? Are we combating the root of the issue? Or are we just talking about this one little thing we saw? So that's just my reaction, my thoughts. I know I stepped on a few toes. I might get a few dislikes. I might get a few, folks might come after me. But I mean, I think the time for us being passive is gone. The time for us, being these quiet Christians, the folks not willing to speak truth or too afraid of getting canceled. Like, that what is that? See, it's that kind of behavior that leads to emboldening and empowering the little Nas X's. It's that kind of mindset that allows for sin and craziness to run amok. It's that kind of thought process. Nobody wants to say the hard things. Nobody wants to say what everybody's thinking because you're afraid of what? Being disowned by your family, friends, culture, whatever the case is. It's that kind of stuff that leads to our kids dying in the street every day. It's that kind of stuff that leads to these videos and music videos and this corrupted culture of darkness. The truth is that, guess what? Culture is not corrupted by big events. Culture is corrupted over time by little things that we ignore. I'm telling you, it's the little things in life. It's those little sins that we just, ain't that big. It's not that big of a deal. That's the kind of stuff that paves the way. That's the kind of stuff that opens the door. So, anyway, I guess I've talked long enough. I think it's a good place here where I can just go ahead and stop. But I really wanted to call that, because we got to call a spade a spade. We did this. This is a direct correlation and reflection of us, of the people. And I say this time and time again. This is who we have allowed ourselves to become. The world needs us to rise up, man. Get back to truth. Get back to love and compassion and holiness, and get back to standing up for what we know is true and believe in. Stop letting this thing go off the rails like this. Like, we need to get back to loving God and loving people. For real. Pray for Lil Nas X. Pray for him. He needs prayer. He needs hope. He needs love. He needs somebody to embrace him where he is and encourage him to come on back home. Live true, stand firm, love all, man. That's what we need now more than ever. The world needs us. The world needs you. No more games, man. Let's get real. And let's get right. Let's get going. All right, y'all. Peace.